Okay, welcome back to Love of Cars. This is my 2006 Ford Focus ST. It's got a slight engine knock, so what I'm going to be doing is changing the bearings under the engine. So the first job was to drain the oil, which it's doing at the moment underneath, which is dropping down there quite simply. And then what we're going to be doing, courtesy of our new lift, it's lifted the car right up so we can get right underneath here. What I'm going to be doing next is getting rid of this pipe here. It's a turbo tube that goes obviously down to the intercooler underneath, so we're just going to undo this thing here, which is nice and tight, which I might have to do with me electric one. So that'll be the next job, to get that off. Undo these two bolts here, and there's one just at the side here, just there. And then we're gonna have to look at getting rid of this, the whatever that is, alternator or steering. It might be the steering motor actually, power steering. Yeah, don't think it's alternator. Alternator's at the top. So yeah, so that's the next job, is to get that off. Then it seems that there is a pipe going in here, but I'm not sure if that's just pushed in, because there doesn't seem to be any bolt there. So that'll be another bit to come out, and then it's just a matter of undoing all of these bolts, which there's quite a few of them. I may have to get rid of this. Whoa, pouring oil on me now. Yeah, so I might have to get rid of this as well, because I'm not really sure what that does, but that's going in there as well, so that's got to come off. So I'm just going to get on now, undo these side bolts. I won't take the sump off now, because obviously I just want it to carry on draining. It's probably going to drain overnight, but I'll start to disconnect different pipes and such, and then I'll let you know how far I've got. I might have to get rid of this one here as well, because that lot is attached, so I'll have a look at that as well. But at least if I do this, then I can explain to you how it's done, and then there isn't anyone else online doing the Ford Focus ST, so thought I'd give it a go. What's the options really, apart from scrapping the car and getting a new engine or whatever? But to be honest, I don't want to be doing that. So yeah, that's starting to just drip now, so we'll crack on, see how far we get, and then I'll let you know the progress of it. Just undone the turbo pipe, the down pipe. I've loosened that one there, and I've swung this around. So basically it was two 10mm bolts here, and one just there, which you can see. Just one 10mm there. So now that's undone, we can now look at what's next to come off of this car. So there's this part here, so not that secure, is it? But I'll probably put a ring around it, just tie it up there somewhere, because it's out of the way for now. I've done the bolt up again, so there's no more oil leaking over me, so I can now push the oil back, because I'm going to reuse that as brand new, so it's going to live there for now. So yeah, there's some pipes going into this, so hopefully they're only flexy sort of rubber hoses, so I'll undo these, and then that way I can move them out of the way, and maybe that'll come off then in one go. There's a bolt up there which is holding these pipes in place, so I'll probably undo those, and they're on a flexi, so with any luck I can just tuck them out the way as well. And then I'm going to have to take the wheel off, get into the side here and undo the belt tensioner so that I can take this belt off, and then obviously keep everything in place in order to put it back on again. Once that's off, I can unbolt this, and then that should be near enough there. Then we can undo the sump. But yeah, that's only taken me a couple of minutes, so it's not too bad. But obviously going to get these bolts off. I'm going to go and buy some WD-40 and just spray that on there, let it seep in for a day, and then when I come in tomorrow we crack on with the other bits that need doing. Okay, so I've had to undo this nut here, which is a torque bit, and that obviously holds these wires here, all the pipes. That just slips in there, and that is a torque, small one here like so. That was just to move these as much as I could from this area here, because I need to try and get this bolt out. It's stuck in there. I've tried. I've just oiled it to see if that loosens it up a touch, but I've been using the ratchet on there and it's still not going. I've undone this bolt here to get these to move about, just so I can get in there because it is tight. I haven't done these, but they are so tight on there, those pipes, that I'm just going to leave it. That's why I want to get this thing off here. That way I can move that out of the way and concentrate on the sump. So I've managed to get that far so far, and yeah, it's not too bad so far. Just get a crick neck from working underneath, upside down and such like, but yeah, it's alright so far. So just cracking on with that nut. Okay, so I've managed to get that off now, so that's just draining more oil out from the sump. So obviously we're going to leave that to carry on dripping out, and then once that's all stopped I shall remove that and pin that back up here somewhere so that it's not in the way. Then we can look at taking the wheel off and the inner wheel well here, the plastic off, so I can get to the tensioner and release that, so I can get this belt off here. It's the power steering. So yeah, I'm going to leave that to drain now and look at this wheel and start on that bit now. Okay, so I've removed all these little nuts here, or screws, from the housing around the wheel. So now we're going to pull that out and begin using the tensioner to take that belt off. So that's our next job. Okay, so I've just pulled that down, so now we've got access to that tensioner, and we can now release that belt, so we can get the belt off of this part here. We won't move any of it, so it all goes back to normal, but I don't think we need to worry about the actual positions of these. I think they're, as long as we leave the wheels in the right places, we won't be mucking about anything with the engine. But we just need to lose some tension on that belt just to get that belt off, and then we can undo the steering motor. So that's our next job. Okay, so I've removed or released the tension on that belt using a T-45, which just goes into there and then turn it, and then that's released now. So what we need to do now is look at undoing this from the sump, and then once I've done that we can look at releasing that sump off of the car. and that'll give us a clear indication of the pistons and the whatever they call it. I'll have a look. I've loosened the tension on that, pulled the belt off. We can now lock a cake in the power steering motor off, and then once we've done that we can then remove the sump, and then we have access to the conrod bearings, which I've purchased here. These are our conrod bearings. So that's what we'll be changing on this car once we've got access. So the next job is to obviously remove that power steering pump, and then we'll be on to taking the sump off. Okay, so we're removing the steering pump with a 10mm spanner. I've loosened them all up. First I cracked them with the old WD-40, and now they're unscrewing. I've also put a jack underneath it so I don't drop all the way out, don't want to damage it. So just carrying on unscrewing these. Don't know how long they are, but they look quite long. So once these are out, hopefully I'll be able to move this somewhere, strap it up with some cable ties so I don't get in the way of the sump. So I've undone all those bolts now, and just noticed there's another belt going around the inside as well, so the tensioner for that is there. Using the same socket or torque wrench, we can remove that one, and then that will move out of the way, and then I can get to undoing the bolts to the sump. So I'm now going to move that one out of the way, lose the tension on it and pull that belt off, and then this will move out of the way, and then I can start untightening all of those bolts around the sump. But I think I'm going to have to leave it there for now. So this is going to be end of part 1, come back for part 2 where I'll remove the sump and we'll get on to changing the bearings.